Hey y'all, welcome. My name is Crystal and I've got a book chat video today and I wanted to put some more thoughts out there about Revelator by Daryl Gregory. I've recently finished this one and I just absolutely loved it. I loved it so much and I want to talk about it because I want more people to read it. So a little story about this book. I first saw it over on Instagram and on the Read Appalachia, their feed, which is Read Appalachia is run by Kendra Winchester, who has a YouTube channel. She's also part of the Reading Women podcast, which is a fantastic podcast. So I'll link her stuff below. But last year she started just an Instagram handle, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, to feature Appalachian books, because she's an Appalachian herself. So I saw this, a few weeks ago or so, where she had hauled it or whatever and showed it on Instagram, and I was like, ooh, this cover, what's going on here? Looked a bit witchy, so I was like, let me check it out. So I went and checked out the synopsis, and I was like, that sounds super interesting. I think I'll buy it. Okay, so I bought it. I think it came in it came in a couple of weeks ago. I sat there for a little while, but I was like, I think I really want to read it right now. So I did. And I was not disappointed. I think I just knew I was going to like this book from the first moment I saw it. Sometimes, your instincts guide you in the right direction, right? So this story, it's got a lot of things that I love in it. We've got historical fiction. It's set in the 1930s, 1940s. It's Appalachian, as I said. It's set in the mountains of Tennessee. We've got a family. I love kind of like family dramas or, learning about family histories, usually including lots of secrets. Love me some good secrets and discovering secrets. And then this one also had this, a family god called God of the Mountain, or also known as Ghost Daddy. So we also get a bit of sort of folk religion, almost paganism, I guess, about this god that lives in the mountain. And which was super intriguing to me. So that gives us sort of a weird spin to it. Loved every single minute of this book. So it opens up. It is let me check the exact year. 1933, and our main character is Stella, and we meet her when she's a young girl. I think she's like 8 or 9 when we first meet her. She's riding in a truck with her daddy, and they're on their way to see their grandmother, who lives in the mountains of Tennessee. And Stella thinks they're going for a visit. Really, her dad's dropping her off to live with her grandmother so he can go find some work and just kind of not have to worry about her for a little while. So that's a bit sad. But Maudie is the grandmother, and she's one of those characters where, she is very gruff, almost kind of mean and hateful, says what she's, just says what she thinks right off. It will tell you the truth right away. Doesn't, beat around the bush, as they say. And, she's just not the nicest person in the world. But Stella has where else is she gonna go? She's 8. So she's just living with her grandma now. And when she first gets there, she takes a walk out to the back of the house and, kind of goes up the mountain a little bit, and she notices this structure, and it kind of looks like a church. And she's like, of course she's 8, so she's like, what is this? Let me go check it out. And, well, yeah, it is kind of a church. It's got some pews, and up top there's almost kind of like a pulpit. And so she makes her way up to the front of the church, and then she notices this sort of doorway that opens to some stairwell that goes down into the earth. So of course she takes some steps down, and and as she gets to the bottom of the steps, it's dark, but she senses something there. Like, and it scares her, and it's, she's like, oh my gosh, something is in here. And our grandmother quickly comes and says, you cannot be here, stay out, yada, yada, yada. Lo and behold, this is our ghost daddy, the God in the mountain, and we learn all about what this creature is. I'll call it a creature just because I don't know. And it's not human. I mean, it's very creature-like the way it's designed. It's cosmic, almost, maybe some cosmic horror, tinge to this story. I wouldn't call this a horror story necessarily, but it is dark. It just goes to some dark places. But we learn all about this family, the Birch family, about their connection to this creature, how it was discovered, and how they've built this kind of religion around this creature, and how it impacts the families, particularly the females of the family. And again, we dive into this history, and we also fast forward to kind of what is present day of this story, which is in the 1940s. Let me say the exact year, 1948. Stella has grown up some. She has left her grandmother's house and just hasn't returned in like 10 years. She's just no. And now Stella has grown into what I call a spitfire of a woman. She is much like Maudie, and she doesn't take much crap off of people. She's a bootlegger. She makes her own moonshine and distributes it through the area. She's a great character. Honestly, she's amazing. I love her so much. But in this 1948 sort of timeline, we learn that Maudie, the grandmother, has really unexpectedly passed away, and so she's having to go back to the house because Maudie has been taking care of a cousin, another little girl. And so now there's this 10-year-old girl that's like, who's going to take care of her? There's some push and pull from other family members because of this connection, like I said, to this God in the mountain. But Stella is, lo and behold, she's got to do something with this little girl, and her name is Sunny. And we just learn so much. Like I said, as we go back and forwards, and we put these pieces together, and y'all, I'm telling you, it's so good. It's so good. It's very emotional too. You get really connected, to several of the characters in here, including Stella, and this world that's created around this creature, this God in the mountain, and everything is so well thought out. I think Daryl Gregory just created this world that you can really it could really exist, like maybe this creature is hanging out on the mountain because he seems pretty real, and like I said, just learning these family secrets and this history of this family that through the generations. Oh, I just loved it so much. And like I said, it's also set in the Appalachian area of Tennessee, and particularly Cades Cove. Now, during this time in the 1940s timeline, it also has some sort of commentary on how the federal government essentially bought out most of the people of Cades Cove, and essentially kicked them out to create the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. This is all true. When you visit Cades Cove today, you see a lot of those old homes and churches still there, and the people were either, like I said, they took the money and just moved out, or some families did get like a life sort of, what do you call it? Like you could live there until you died kind of thing. And, but there's also, I just think that's interesting to add to this story. Because if you've never visited the Smoky Mountain National Park, you probably don't know about that history. Now, of course, this mountain area, of course, was first inhabited by the native folks of the area, but we won't go into that. But like I said, these families were essentially removed from the area, and I think that, it's not heavy-handed in here, but it's just that it's in there. I think is pretty interesting. But it also does tie into the, because Mahdi's land is has this creature in it. Like, if the federal government, if we can't live here anymore, what happens to the creature? So it is tied into the story as well. I really appreciated that. And I don't know. Gregory's writing, this is my first time reading his book, and he has a slew of books. I don't know how I've missed them all, but make no mistake, I will be reading more. And his writing is fantastic. He sets a scene. I mean, you visualize it perfectly. The characters are, lots of depth. And just very well written. They just come alive on the page. Like I said, you really just feel for them, or you love or hate them, kind of thing. You see their reasonings for doing things. And then, fantastic writing. And I loved this book so much. So if it sounds interesting to you, give it a go, honestly. I was blown away. And like I said, this, from seeing the cover to me, closing the page on the last sentence of this book, I've loved it and highly recommend it. And so definitely, I just would love for more people to check it out. So if you end up reading it, let me know, or because I love to chat about it with folks. I haven't seen too many folks talking about it, so let me, if you get into it, let me know, because I definitely would love to see what you think about it. And so that's going to do it for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and again, let me know if you check it out, because I want to know. So I'll see you in the next one, and bye for now. Bye bye.